I'm Shelley with the Warehouse Theater Company. Welcome back to the prop room. Today, the prop room is the dining room, and we're going to talk about food and beverage props that are used in live theater shows. You have seen from my earlier videos, if you've watched them, how we make props to use on stage. We've seen a paper mache turkey and a paper mache duck, a spray painted pie tin to use as enamelware. But let's talk about meals that are served on stage. Sometimes the meals are fake. Sometimes they're just for looks. That's what the turkey was for. But sometimes the meals are real. And it's the prop master's job to make sure that there's food on set for each show. In 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, that meant a lot of biscuits. In A Christmas Story, that was meatloaf and mashed potatoes for 14 nights. So there are tips and tricks that every director and prop master uses to make sure that the workload isn't overwhelming, but it feels realistic on the stage. And if you've been to the Warehouse Theater Company, you know that that stage is small. It's a very small area, and there are people on all 4 sides. So any props that end up on the stage perhaps need to look a little more real than if they were 20 feet away on a proscenium stage. For example, the mashed potatoes in A Christmas Story. We made mashed potatoes every night. In 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, they ate fresh biscuits every night. Something I learned is to make sure that when there are edible food props, make sure that they actually taste good. I caught some of the actors sprinkling seasoning salt on the biscuits one night and realized that maybe they were a little bland. We do have to be careful when providing food props, though, that they will not stain the actors' costumes. That's why there's no butter on the biscuits. Another example of that is when we do a pie in the face. Singing in the Rain, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers had a pie in the face. And so we had a pie shell that we filled with shaving cream. It was not whipped cream. And the reason for that is that whipped cream is sticky and it stains. So when you see that lovely pie in the face, don't be jealous. In some cases, the food is real. There's some cookies that we could put on stage and they could be eaten. Or maybe there's a pie that needs to be served to the actors. Didn't that look good? Well, here's a tip. Don't eat it. It's salt dough filled with dry beans. We made pies like this for 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, and they held up very well. They didn't break, they didn't spoil. We could have used real pies, but that means having a fresh pie for at least every couple of shows, and this way we had pies that were ready to go for the entire run of the show. If you've ever made salt dough for crafts before, you've got the basics down already. I'm going to use regular table salt, flour, and some water to make the dough. And then I'm going to use dry beans for the filling. I'll take pictures as I go and show you the finished product. Okay, so I've mixed up my dough and floured my counter. Here's the pie tin I'm going to use. And because this is a fake pie that no one's ever going to cut into, I'm not going to make a full bottom crust. I am going to put part of the dough in the bottom though, so that the filling doesn't move around. So I've used garbanzo beans in the past, the dry ones. I don't happen to have those right now. I have dried pinto beans. So that's what we're going to use. And I'm going to fill that all the way up to make a nice mound so that it looks like a real pie when we put the top crust on. And there it is. It looks good enough to eat. I'm going to put it in the oven now for an hour or so to dry out the salt dough. What about beverages? In many, many shows, somebody is drinking something or eating something. Sometimes an empty cup will do the trick. Sometimes we don't have to have a beverage in there. But sometimes we like the smell of hot coffee, so we might use instant coffee to put in a cup to put on stage. Other times, we might want the look and feel of a beverage service. But we're not going to put real alcohol in them. I mean, think about it. In Sweet Surrender, the hotel manager drank an entire fifth of whiskey on set in one go every night of the show. So clearly, we have to come up with an alternative. And of course, it's a simple alternative. We use food coloring in water, and we turn plain water into whiskey or iced tea or whatever beverage we need. Another thing about beverage service that you might not think of is that when props are coming on and off the stage, sometimes it happens very quickly. And one of the considerations is the safety of the actors in the audience. In one show I was involved in, a tray with a decanter and brandy snifters was being taken off during a set change, and the glasses hit the ground. Glass everywhere, liquid everywhere. The very next scene was a barefoot dancing scene. So that was exciting. It involved some improvisational sweeping over the scene change music. So sometimes we'll use plastic glasses. Other times we might use the real thing. And the other thing that happens is if you see a tray of drinks come on the stage, it's very possible that the glassware is taped to the tray so that it won't fall off. This is very helpful because we do have to move quickly to get things on and off the stage, and there isn't always time to carefully balance a tray of glassware. So there you have it. Dinner and a show. Sometimes the food is real, sometimes it's not. But it always makes for good theater, and it's a lot of fun to pull together and just decide what will work for the particular scene. Thank you so much for watching the prop room over these last few weeks. It's been a lot of fun teaching you a little bit about props. And I hope that next time you go to the theater and watch a live show, you notice the things that the actors are holding or carrying on and off stage. And maybe you'll think for just a moment, I wonder where that came from. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.